So I go off to motorcycle training, and the first day, that's what the very first thing they teach you to do is they lay the bike down, and we're talking, these are the big Harleys. They lay the bike down, and you have to be able to pick it up. There is a technique, and once I did it, they said, you're fine, we can teach you the rest. I went into training, and my third week of training, I had a very bad training accident. I went off the bike at 45 miles an hour. They thought I was dead. I did not break anything. I was very, very lucky. I am a saved by the helmet testifier here. I had a helmet on. The helmet was all the way down to the fiberglass. I was off work for about 5 weeks. Went back. I could work what they called light duty. At that point, it was winter, so we couldn't resume motorcycle training. So they put me in a cruiser, and I learned how to work radar and laser and those other things that go along with the motorcycle traffic enforcement job. But the proudest day of my life was when I passed my motorcycle test, because it's not your typical motorcycle test. It is, Harley-Davidson works with the Northwest Traffic Institute, and they put together this course that you have to be able to pass to be a motorcycle officer on most departments. And it was, I have skin missing because of it, but it was truly my proudest day. When they say it's not if you get hurt, it's when you get hurt. A couple guys went through with me later when I went back to training, and one had a career-ending accident where he caught his leg up under the bike, and that was his last day of work. So it's dangerous. There had never been a female on the motorcycle unit before, so that was one of my first, and that probably was my most proudest moment on the police department. It was the most physically, emotionally, mentally challenging thing I had ever done. The good side of that is I still ride a motorcycle today. I can ride any motorcycle, because if you learn to ride the biggest one, you're not afraid of any other ones. And I'm very cognizant about motorcycle safety. So that was it.
Hi, Ms. Collins-Taylor. Yeah, that's correct. I'm Lewis Kang, senior at Berea High School. I'm also a current vice president of the City Club. My question for you today is, could you explain in detail what motivated you to accept your appointment as the Director of Public Safety?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I can actually do it when the governor asks. You don't say no. Actually, the governor appointed me to my prior position. When I took that unit over, it was a unit that had been in the papers a lot, and it was not good news. There had been some lawsuits, some complaints. There were some grievances filed by members within the unit, a lot of negative, bad press about the unit. In 2.5 years, we took that unit. Myself, Mike McKeon, and another person I was allowed to bring in, the three of us took that unit and turned it around. And that was the type, and it was recognized by the governor's office, and that was the forward thinking that they were looking for to carry the department into the future. And no one was more surprised when the call came from the governor's office to myself than I was. But when the governor asks, you don't say no. Okay. So I was very honored, very humbled to have even been considered, let alone offered the position.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm from Lorraine Southview. Aside from cell phones, many, police automobiles are equipped with computer screens. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to know what justified their use over ours when it comes to the public safety of the people.
The justification is it gets information to the officers a lot faster. It's a tool to help them do their job. It's a resource. It can identify warrants quicker than the old radio way. It can bring up pictures of somebody, so if somebody says there's somebody they're not, they can pull that picture up and they immediately know that. A lot of modern law enforcement communications is through, those are MDTs, what's the M in MDT? Data terminal. Mobile data, thank you. Mobile data terminal. Now you know why I brought them. And so the justification is that they get information out to the cruisers a lot quicker and put a lot more information into that. You can pull up runs. There's a whole database in Ohio now of critical infrastructure that if law enforcement gets sent somewhere on some type of emergency, you can pull up the plans. We've got school plans in there so you know where the entrances and exits are, where the air conditioning goes in. If there's a Columbine type of situation, the first responders there can have all that information immediately at their hands. So all that stuff that you could pull up on the computer that you couldn't do in the old days of the radio communication. So it's for the efficiency of law enforcement that in the long run gives better service to the citizens.
Hi, yes, my name is Dr. Elan Detto, and someone over there asked me to ask this question.
That's why she's a doctor.
Yes, I have 3 girls and a son, and I teach in an urban area, and the students and my son have had problems with racial profiling. For example, if he's out in a store, sometimes he's followed, or if he's on the street, he's been stopped at times, and this has happened to students as well. My daughters have never had a problem like that. I'm wondering, what is his recourse in this type of instance? What can be done about it if he's stopped for no reason at all?
My first suggestion would be to contact the law enforcement agency that's doing the stopping, request a copy of their policy dealing with racial profiling. So you know what their policy is, and at that point, it just varies from department to department what their policy is, how they act on it. But my first suggestion would be to reach out to the law enforcement agency that he's encountering. There are other legal recourses you can take that you would probably need to speak with legal counsel on, but there's a myriad of ways you can address that. But policies are public record generally. If you ask them for a copy of their profiling policy, that would be a good start to at least educate yourself as to what their policy is, and then you might know what your options are better.
Hi, I'm Ariel Franklin from Maple Heights High School, and I was wondering if you knew where the swine flu originated from?
Swine? Actually, pigs. Pigs. Which is where that came from. I mean, if you remember the scare a few years ago, the bird flu, that was from birds, and birds could carry it from continent to continent, which was part of the issue. Which is why Department of Agriculture is watching the swine population in this country to see what impact it has. But it's transferred to humans, and it's mutated itself to where it can transfer to humans is the issue. And so humans can get it.
Hi, I'm Aaron from Elyria High, and I was wondering if the texting while driving legislature is passed, would there be a bias towards teen drivers more than older drivers?
There shouldn't be. I think generally people are, not to cut you off, but generally, I think that the population of people at least a few years ago that text were much more kids. That's not the case anymore. So it should be applied universally to any age group. There's no age group that would be exempt. Okay, now you can clap. Do we have any more? We done? All right, your turn, Joey. Thanks, Joey.
Hi, my name is Joey Buccini. I'm a senior at Brunswick High School. Today at the City Club of Cleveland Youth Forum, we have been listening to Cathy Collins-Taylor. Before you go, we'd like to ask you to fill out the surveys on your tables and return them at the door. Thank you to our distinguished speaker, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This forum is now adjourned.